This will be the third video on welding blow molds. Here we have a Empire Shepherd who's got some issues with his hands. And down here on the bottom, he's got a hole from when he was staked. You can see there's had a hole here. It comes out down here on the bottom, which you can't see. But this hole got ripped out. This little flap is stuck over here, so I'm going to heat this little flap up where it'll bend over easier, and then I'm going to weld it with my soldering iron. You can see here there's some cracks that I epoxy because the plastic is pretty thin. Some people want to use a heat gun, but it's not necessary. If you've got an old hairdryer laying around, it'll work just fine. Let's get the plastic hot though. You can just push it over with your finger. It doesn't fit exactly, but you can smooth it out. You just kind of take the side of the tip and kind of drag it across there, and it will scrape off a little bit, and that's what you'll melt to the other side of the crack. And then you can smooth it out where it's hardly noticeable. And if you're wanting to keep it for displaying it, you can probably get some green paint that'll come fairly close to matching this and touch it up on that one little spot, and you won't even see it. There you have it. That little spot is done. Now I'm going to get a piece of scrap plastic and fill in this hole. Just it's a piece that was inside one of the blow molds that I have where they cut the hole for the black kit. I'm just going to melt some of it off onto here to fill in this hole. Or even better, I'm going to cut off a piece that's close to it. Just get your Sharpie, hold the piece on there and kind of mark an outline a little bit bigger than the hole that you're going to cover. It's actually too big, so I'm going to cut it off right there. Get some scissors, sharp scissors preferably, and cut the piece off that you're going to use as a patch. The black marks will come off once you heat it. Put it on there over the hole, and then you're gonna kind of tack weld it just to get it to stay in place. Do the same thing that you did with this flap, kind of scrape it across the edge, and it will pull off a little bit of plastic. And then you heat where it contacts the blow mold, and it will bond together. If you need to kind of contour the patch, you can use the soldering iron to gently do that too. I'll show you how in just a second. Just kind of scrape. There's a little bit of a gap there, but not much. A little bit of a crack down here. See, it's tacked together, so it's not going to move while I do the rest, and I don't have to hold it. Because a small piece like that gets hot pretty quick. It'll burn your fingers if you're not careful. And you can see it's getting clear, but as it cools, in the next few seconds it will turn white again. You can kind of even that out where it more closely follows the contour of the blow mold. Just scrape it towards the edge. If you need to, you can, on this one, you can actually go inside and hold it up from the inside. Got my thumb against it, but it's, like I said, it gets hot. So you're not going to want to do that for long. One thing I haven't mentioned on the other videos about welding the plastic, when you're doing something with the tip, also be careful about this edge right here, because while you're touching it with the tip, that edge can touch over here. And if you're not careful, you'll burn a hole over here. And then you'll have to go back and patch that too. So you have to kind of watch what you're doing. Kind of take your time while you're doing it. If you have to, go back over it again to get a good grip. But if you see, this is kind of V-shaped and the patch is flat, so I'm going to try to kind of heat this up in the middle and push it in a little bit to where it'll kind of match. Just kind of heat the middle of it and push it in a little bit. It's not going to be exact. It's not blending good. And be careful when it gets clear, kind of leave it for a few seconds, because once it gets clear, it's almost liquid. And if you're not real careful, you can take that tip and poke a hole right through it. It's not going to match the contour very well, but once you touch it up with some paint, it'll hardly be noticeable, and it'll keep the crack from spreading any, which is the main thing. You can see right there, that little spot's not bonded real well. You can see a definite line there between the patch and the blow mold, so I'm going to kind of heat that spot up on the blow mold and the patch and kind of press it together so that the plastic will mix. and it'll get a good strong bond. And after it cools and all goes back to white, you can see any rough spots that you might want to smooth out. But being down here by the bottom, it's not going to be that big of a deal. If it was up, say, on his face, you'd want it to look a lot better. And I'll get into some of those later. I've got several blow molds that have damage in areas that are more visible, that you have to be very slow and tedious and very careful about what you're doing. But I'll make a video with them. And show you how I do that. The main thing to remember is once it's cracked or broken or has a hole, it's never going to look as good as new. But you want it to look as good as you can. So that looks pretty good. Once it's touched up from 5-10 feet away, nobody will notice. So I think we're done with this, with that hole. Now I'm gonna try and fix this. I'm not sure exactly what happened there, but it's got the top hole is all torn up and the bottom hole is cracked up. It'll be a little bit of fun to fix. Then I'll make another video on that. So if you like the video, hit the like button down below. Subscribe if you want to, because there'll be more videos, not only of how to weld them, but using epoxy and using thermoplastic pellets. I'll make a video in a little bit about kind of comparing the three and the best uses in my opinion for each one of them. So thanks for watching.